What is up, everybody? It is finally Saturday. Hope y'all have had a great week. And welcome to the first of 4 weekend uploads. It is February 7th, 2026, and today we're going to be diving in to the upcoming weather pattern to see what the weather has in store for us. Now, you're going to want to stick around to the end of today's video where we will do a very custom forecast, and you're not going to want to miss it because it's unlike anything we have ever done before. So make sure to stick around, and also at the end of our video there's going to be another special forecast. So yeah, just more things you're going to want to see. Looking at our 2-meter temperature anomaly in Fahrenheit, there is an Arctic shot coming in from Ontario, Canada into the Great Lakes region. As we scroll on, some warmer air does decide to go give them a turn, warm them up for another Arctic shot that comes into the Washington, D.C. area. But then this warm air decides enough Arctic air and warmer air. So that's exactly what happens while the west is favorable for some Arctic snowier conditions, which is what we need for our snowpack in places like Telluride and anywhere else out west. As you can see, there's Arctic air building potentially in Alberta, Canada, and British Columbia, Canada, potentially moving into the states that I am about to name. California, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and potentially Texas, Arizona, or New Mexico. Looking at our 2-meter temperature in Fahrenheit, as we just saw, there is Arctic air moving into the east as we follow up this weekend. This is gonna get cold. As you can see, we're approaching potentially 10 below zeros. So it could get very cold in some isolated spots, while it gets very warm, approaching 60 or 70 degrees, and then immediately cools back to maybe 40 to 30 degrees. This is going to be a very big warm shot for the Great Plains. It could be approaching 80 degrees, shockingly, and then go from 80, drop 40 degrees, and it could get to drop 40 to 50 degrees, and it could approach 30 or maybe even 20, which is, it's going to be a big shocker. One minute you're going to be in short sleeves and t-shirt, and then the other minute you're going to be scrambling for your winter clothes. It's going to be crazy, and honestly, I don't blame you. This Arctic air shot that we saw coming into the west coast, well, we can see it, and it's not just the coast also. It's also inland into Montana also. As we approach the very end of our run, you can see, yes, it does get very cold. This Arctic air out in Alberta, Canada, and British Columbia, Canada, has the potential to move into the west side. Anything west of the Rockies will be affected by this. Let me just say that. Also, not to mention Ontario, Canada, you could see it gets potentially maybe 30 or 40 or 50 degrees below zero. So please if you live in this spot, it could get very cold. Please have a backup heating source. Stay inside. Do not go outside unless you have absolutely no other choice or an emergency need to do so. It will be cold, and you could get frostbite in as short of under 10 minutes. Looking at our 168-hour precipitation total in inches, as you can see, there is tons of precipitation in the Pacific Northwest into Cannon Beach, Oregon, and Northern California. But as we max out our run, it decides to move south of the Pacific Northwest, while the Ohio Valley is also getting around an equivalent amount of rain, up to 4 inches in some isolated spots. While the Cascades, even in the Sierras, is going to be getting up to 6 inches in some isolated spots here in Northern California and also the southwestern corner of Oregon. Looking at our 500 millibar height dam in Anomaly M, you can see there's a very strong trough of low pressure that later intensifies just skimming Washington, D.C. to a 522, which, for reference, is very strong. There could be some storm conditions. While it eventually moves out and dissipates over the Atlantic Ocean, moving towards Iceland and Greenland. While we have a giant trough forming over the Pacific Northwest, you can see this decides to give us a turn, and then it kind of doubles down, and boy, is this a massive trough. It doesn't stop, it just keeps coming, and looks like there's going to be another one coming as we reach the end of our run. Looking at our visibility in miles, as of right now, it is 0.1 miles here in eastern Washington and Spokane, and many other isolated spots. I can't name them, otherwise this video would be an hour long. As we scroll on, it does get in the lower elevations of the Cascades, potentially 0.2 or no, 0.2 mile, 1 or 2 miles, maybe 3 miles in some spots. It's not going to get too bad, but there is the potential, like I said. There is also a system moving in down south in the Gulf of Mexico right here. It could be on the day of the 13th. It could get to even into Florida. Wow, this could be 0.1 miles or less. So avoid driving during these hours. It has the potential to cause many car crashes if it does reach these whiteout conditions. Looking at our cumulative max 10-meter wind gust in mile an hour, we can see that as of right now, there's potentially 60, 67 mile an hour winds in the Washington, D.C. coast area, while a majority of the wind is out over the Atlantic, so we can thank God for that. As we scroll on, there are some wind action in Cannon Beach, Oregon, while there's also some wind happening in the central states. This does intensify, but luckily it's over the coast. Let's look at Wyoming here, because I see some stuff happening. So let me go to United States, Wyoming. Where are you? Here we are, Wyoming. It's the very bottom one. You can see I saw this, or actually no, maybe I saw it in Colorado. Colorado here. Denver is right here, right? Maybe 40 or 50. Here in the Rockies, it could be approaching 80 or 90 mile an hour winds. So please get ready for this. Trees could blow down and several power outages may result. Sleep downstairs or in a basement. There is the potential for bad things to happen. I also saw something happening in New Mexico, so let's find that. New Mexico. Here we are. New Mexico. I saw tons of widespread wind approaching 80 or 90 miles an hour as well. Many power outages may result. It could be dangerous, and like I said, make sure you sleep downstairs during these conditions. It won't be friendly at all. Looking at our snow depth in inches. This is not the extended run. This is actually, as of right now today, the Northeast. And yes, it is going to be very snowy, while the mountains out west are also going to be favorable for some heavy snow. Nothing too bad in the lower elevations, but we need that for our snowpack. So let's hope that this gets better as we scroll on through our days. Let's max out, and it actually does get a little better. We can, you can see there's actually a difference. So I want you to look at this, especially for the mountains out west. Bam. It does get potentially some heavier snow in the lower elevations, Sierra Nevadas, northeastern states. Let's hope that this continues to rise and snowpack continues to increase. We need this for our snowpack and ski resorts. Looking at the extended run, 32-day snow. This is March 24th, 2026. There's tons of snow for the mountains out west and tons of snow for the northeast, while we can look at our 46-day snow and see even more snow for the mountains out west and northeast. This could be very, very, very gnarly. So if you're shoveling snow, fun fact, doctors actually see people coming in during big snowstorms with heart attacks and heart problems because they're shoveling too much snow and they're not taking breaks. So I just want to say one thing. If you plan on shoveling potentially 48 inches in some spots, make sure to take breaks, drink water, warm off inside by a fireplace or anything warm. If you plan on snow blowing it, still make sure to take breaks. Please don't get frostbite. It happens every year, trust me. Looking at our control model, 32-day, let's just go to 46-day for the fun of it. As you can see here, come on, as we max out, it does get, maybe it's pretty equivalent to what we saw, though maybe a little bit less snow for the northeast. Looking at our CPC outlook, this is the very special forecast that I was talking about. I can't fit it all on my screenshot. I tried to fix it, but it didn't work. Here we are. It does get pretty below average. I can't use my cursor right now because I'm using it to scroll. But there's some below average temps in the Washington, D.C. area, while in this, it gets actually really warm here, while the west is actually starting to get below average. So finally we start to see this happen as we go into the 8 to 14 day. Only gets worse, which is good. Looking at our 6 to 10 day precipitation total in inches, you could see there is pretty much above average unless you're in southern Texas or also Florida. As you can see, 8 to 14 day, pretty much the same, although it does get pretty higher drought conditions in Florida and Texas, while the rest of the country is above average. That is just about it for today's video, so make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much, guys, for your love and support. We just hit our goal of 20 subscribers, so thank you so much for supporting the channel. It means a lot to me, truly. Our next milestone is hitting 30 subscribers, so if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It'll help the channel a lot. It doesn't cost a dime, and I will see you guys later this afternoon. Goodbye.